What is up, you guys? So I am here once again with another tutorial. This is going to be a little short one, if I can get the timing down. This is just going to be on how to apply false lashes for beginners or just people that are kind of still not getting the hang of it. This is just kind of what works for me. I'm not saying that this is the exact way, the only way to do it, but this is just kind of what has helped me and how I do it. So not saying that this is the only way, okay? So don't be judging on my video with all that negativity. But if you want to know how I do it, then keep watching. Come on, Brenda, hurry up. Let's go. Let's get this going. My bad. Alrighty, so first thing is first, the easiest way to apply lashes if you are a beginner, I recommend getting a lash that has a very, very thin band. For example, these are the DEMI WISPIES by ARDELL, and I literally use these. These are pretty much my everyday lashes. They're very subtle, but just enough to kind of give you some fullness on your lashes. I usually buy the one that has the 5, is it 5? Yeah, the 5-in-1 because I use these all the time and it's just cheaper. Anyways, that's besides the point. If you could tell that this band is very, very thin, usually just take them off with tweezers just very gently. But as you can see, besides the little white gunk that's on there from from sticking to the plastic, as you can see, the band is very, very thin. There's no extra thickness on it. It's just straight thin. So I definitely recommend in getting a lash that has a very, very thin band because it's just going to be overall easy for you, especially if this is kind of your first time diving into false lashes. It just applies a lot easier, and I'll show you the difference between the thicker band and the thinner band. So these are Violet VOSS Sexy and I Know It or something like that. I'll have it linked down below. But this one, as you can see, the band is a lot thicker. You can see how black it is because it is a lot thicker. So this is just a little bit harder to kind of maneuver, if that makes sense. And I'll go ahead and put them side by side. So this is the thicker band, as you could see the difference, and this is the thinner band. All these are the DEMI WISPIES. As you could see, the band is a lot thinner than this guy. So for beginners, I recommend a much thinner band because, like I said, it's just gonna be easier for you to kind of adjust it to your eye. Once you kind of just start getting a little bit more comfortable with putting false lashes, you could try the thicker band. It is a little bit harder to put on just because it doesn't bend as well as a thinner band. This kind of has more flexibility to it, which makes the application a lot easier. So typically what I do is I measure it against my eye first before putting any glue. And I just want to make sure that the corners of the eyelash are pretty even to my actual eyelash line. You don't want this band to come all the way down here because that's when it is going to start poking you and it's going to get so annoying that you're just going to friggin' rip them off. Same thing over here. You don't want it to extend past your eye because it's going to look stupid. I'm telling you that right now. So what I do is I measure it first. If I feel that they are too long, then I usually just take my little, what are these called? Fucking little scissors, I guess. I'll go ahead and just cut little by little. What I typically do is I usually start cutting from the inside of the eyelash. So this is how it goes. I usually cut in here. Why? Because the lashes that I typically get usually go from short to long, and I usually like to cut the short end first because I don't want to take off that long tail. The short to long, if you have kind of like hooded eyes and they kind of droop down, mine kind of droop down a little bit. I like to get the ones that are short to long because they kind of elongate them, if that makes sense. But if I do trim them, I will start from the inside of the eyelash, never from the long part. But since I typically get the DEMI WISPIES all the time, I know that they're pretty much perfect for the size of my eye, so I don't need to cut them. But if your eye is a lot smaller, then you would need to cut it. In my case, I love using the Dark Duo glue. It's an easy application because the brush is literally like this, so it's super easy to kind of brush on the glue to the band. And you want to make sure you coat the band really well with glue, that way it doesn't come off. Make sure you definitely get those corners because that's the part where it kind of lifts more. At this point, once you've already applied that glue, you want to wait a little bit for it to get tacky, because if you apply it straight on, it's going to be too slippery, so it's not going to stick to your lash line all that well. So you want to wait a little bit, give it a little one of these, a little bit one of these. So as you can see, my nails look a lot different than what they did before because I'm editing this video and I forgot to add this part, which is very important. But when you're in the process of letting the eyelashes dry or the glue dry, you want to kind of go ahead and bend the lash like this. So it's kind of creating that U, which is kind of following the shape of your eye. So once it's drying, just kind of keep it in this formation. That's just going to help the application go a lot smoother. Like so. And just make sure that it is tacky before applying the lashes. So now if your natural lashes are very stubborn and they just kind of like stick straight down, I do recommend to curl your eyelashes prior to putting on the fake lashes. And once you curl them, apply a little bit of mascara to your natural lashes. That way it's easier for the fake lash to kind of blend in with your natural lash. In my case, my natural lashes aren't that stubborn. They do stick straight down, but they're not like stubborn. So what I do is I just literally put on my lashes without any curling or any type of mascara. Some of the eyelash packages come with little tweezers like this. I sometimes use this, or I just use my regular plucking tweezers. Either one will work. You can use your hands, but for beginners, even for me, I've been putting on lashes for a long time, I still like to use one of these little applicators because it's just a lot easier, especially because I have nails. It's just easier. Once the lash glue is tacky, you want to use a big mirror. You could use a small mirror, it might be easier for you. You just want to get as close to your lash line as possible and just plop it on there. And you just want to start working the corners. Again, let that lash glue dry. And I just kind of try and measure it as close as I can to like the middle. And then I'll just work the corners. So at this point, once both lashes are on and you have coated your top liner once again to kind of hide that lash band, it pretty much should look something like this. And then at this point for me, since my lashes aren't that like super stick straight, I just go ahead and coat my bottom first. Go ahead and put some mascara on your top lashes. So for this part, you just want to make sure you coat your natural lashes, not the false lashes, because if you do that, you're just going to make it look very spidery and it's not going to look, it's going to mess up your false lashes basically, and you're probably going to only get to use them one time, if you know what I mean. So just try and get your actual natural lashes. I mean, it's okay if you get some on the fake ones at the very tip, but just don't purposely coat your false ones. And then go ahead and let that dry for a bit. And then what I usually like to do, since I don't curl my eyelashes or put mascara before putting the false lashes, once the mascara is a little bit dry, I just take my 2 fingers and kind of pinch my natural with the false lashes. You want to do this very gently because you don't want to pull anything off. And that way they both kind of mesh together. And that's pretty much it for applying these false lashes. It can be a little time consuming, but I mean, with practice, it gets a lot easier, I promise. And sometimes even I struggle with putting lashes on. Sometimes they come out bomb and sometimes they don't, but it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta roll with it, roll with it. So I hope this video was somewhat helpful to those of you that are kind of barely diving into putting some false lashes or just still need a little bit more practice. I hope some of these tips and tricks helped you in your venture to putting on false lashes, because they're the best and I just wish they were like this naturally. Again, please show your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. If you have any video requests that you would like for me to do, please leave them down below. Don't forget to follow my Instagram, right here, and I will be checking you guys in my next video. Bye. Now, oh my god, I got glue. And then go ahead and just top.